And I think now it's a perfect time to talk about the New York Knicks and what they are doing right now in the NBA. Because it is actually unbelievable how they have exceeded everyone's expectations, including my own. Because going into the season, we all know the New York Knicks were kind of the favorites in the Eastern Conference, especially after we saw what happened with the Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics. Boston basically giving into the gap year and after Tatum's injury, trading away Drew Holiday, trading away Kristaps Porzingis, and gutting their roster. So everyone knew, hey, the Celtics aren't going to be contenders this year. Same thing with the Pacers. They sent Miles Turner to walk to free agency. Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles. So now the two teams that always gave the Knicks trouble aren't contending this year, and no Eastern Conference team really made any major moves to scare the Knicks. So it just felt like, hey, the Knicks have a clear path to the Eastern Conference. And to start the year, they were struggled a little bit. They had their ups and downs, but towards the end of the season, they kind of rallied toward the end, but they still couldn't push for that second seed. The Pistons obviously had a phenomenal season, ended up being the 1 seed. The 2 seed was the Boston Celtics. The team everyone thought, hey, this is going to be a gap year, but they proved everyone wrong alongside with Jaylen Brown. Came back at the beginning of March, and it felt like, hey, maybe the Knicks have some comp. But the Knicks did not look like themselves. Going into the playoffs, we did not know which kind of New York team that we were going to get. The team we saw all season long, or the team that shows they could be in small stretches. And well, to start the playoffs, it did not go well for them. They lost 2 out of their first 3 playoff games against the Atlanta Hawks, where I thought the Knicks were going to literally wipe the floor with them and beat them within like 5 games, not even 6. But they lost 2 of the first 3 games, and I was even confused myself. CJ McCollum walked into the Garden and put his nuts right in the middle of center court and dropped 30 on them. 30 on the Knicks. CJ McCollum at 45 years old dropped 30 on the Knicks at home in MSG. I was like, whoa, easy. Then in game 3, they came back and beat them in Atlanta. I'm like, whoa, what is going on with this Knicks team? Because I thought they're going to wipe the floor with the Hawks. And the next 3 games, the Knicks showed why they were the favorites in the series and won 3 straight games and completely wiping the floor with them in game 6 in Atlanta, in their home, beating them by 50. Putting their nuts right on their heads. Showing them, yeah, this is our shit. Yeah, we fucked around those first 3 games, but we run this shit. We are the best team in the East, and we're going to make sure everyone knows that. And on top of that, the Celtics choked a 3-1 lead to the Philadelphia 76ers to the Knicks find the matchup that they actually wanted. They wanted the Sixers over the Celtics. Celtics always gave them hell, but now they deal with the Philadelphia 76ers, in which I thought going into the series, this is going to be at least a 6-game series after what the Sixers just pulled off. Oh boy, was I fucking wrong. The Knicks, then again, put their fucking nuts on the Philadelphia 76ers in game 1, spanking them. Game 2 was a little closer with Joel Embiid. And in game 3, spanked them. Game 4, they bent them motherfuckers over in Philadelphia and started boom, boom, taking turns. Every one of them. Boom, 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 boom. Each and every one of them taking different strokes onto the Philadelphia 76ers. No answer to start this game. The Knicks know how to close out a series in style. Back-to-back elimination games. Back-to-back, when they had to close the series out, they put belt to both the Sixers and the Hawks, and now they find themselves as the first team to advance to the conference finals. Shout out New York. But how did they get here? How did the New York Knicks flip this switch magically over the last 7 games? Because right now they're on a 7-game win streak in the playoffs and have objectively looked like the best team remaining left in the playoffs. And well, right now, the Knicks starting lineup has the 3rd highest point differential amongst the teams that are left, only behind the San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons. And they have the 6th best point differential amongst all teams that made the playoffs. And now, offensively speaking, they have the best offensive rating when it comes to their starting lineup left in the league right now, and the 2nd best overall in the playoffs. Defensively, we knew that's when the Knicks lacked the most. Their defense is exactly where you thought it would be. They have the 11th best defensive rating lineup in the entire playoff, the 6th best amongst teams that are remaining. They also have the 3rd highest playoff 3-point percentage in the league, and they're all because everyone on this team is firing from all cylinders. And one major key factor that the Knicks were able to turn the switch was Mikal Bridges, who started off this playoffs absolutely terrible. Literally a net negative on the court. It was actually insane to look at in real time because there was no way they gave up, what was it, 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. It didn't seem right. He started this playoffs 11 points, 10 points, 0 points, 8 points, and 7 points. But randomly in game 6, Mikal Bridges realized, wait, I am a professional basketball player. This team gutted their future picks for me. Let me show them why I can still play basketball, guys. I can play basketball. And then suddenly that switch just flipped. 24 points, 17 points, 18 points, 23 points, and 12 points in his last game. Well, that was just about to ask to the Sixers. He just barely played. And when Mikal Bridges is hooping like this, the Knicks are an actual threat in the Eastern Conference because that gives them such an 15 to 20 point per game scorer that they weren't having basically majority of the season, it felt like. It felt like he had a lot of games, 0 points, 2 points, 5 points. He looked awful. But now you have consistent 15 to 20 point per game score on a great efficiency that opens up the game so much more for the New York Knicks. And one thing with the Knicks so far this year in the playoffs is that they have made it a point to make sure that they will lose to anyone except for the star players on this team. Because we saw in the first round, after the first 3 games, they shut out CJ McCollum. And after they shut out CJ, the rest of the team couldn't fucking do it. And now in the Sixers series, it was a deliberate point to make sure that Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid have nothing easy. Pick and roll comes, they are blitzing Maxey, showing 2 bodies at him every time. Joel rolls, hey, there's 2 bodies going to throw on Joel Embiid. And that's when we have games where Paul George has 15 points in the first half on great efficiency because the Knicks are willing to live and die by the fact that, yo, we're going to let a 50-year-old Paul George beat us. We're going to let that light-skinned motherfucker in Kelly Oubre beat us. Yo, Drummond, do it. Hit threes. We dare you. That was kind of their thing. Yo, pick and roll comes. We're tagging Embiid on the roll and showing 3 bodies. 2 bodies at Maxey every time. Maxey going downhill. Fuck everyone else. Run at Maxey. Make sure Maxey has nothing easy. 2 bodies at Maxey every single time. He was getting blitzed and overall struggling in the series. Even he said it himself.
This series was definitely tough for me. It was they made it tough on me. I can't even sit here and lie. You know, they did a good job of just, I saw multiple bodies every single night. Like every single pick and roll, it was a trap. Every single, Brunson action, it was a trap. Every single time I got downhill, the entire team was in the paint. I was trying to kick out. And I got to really watch it and because I think it was definitely, one of the hardest series I played in for just myself. And I got to be better for my teammates. And no matter what the case is, no matter what the defense is. But it's a lot of different things I want to work on. Him being here.
It was a tough series for him. It's a lot for him to learn. But the Knicks have kind of made it their point. And now next round, whether it's most likely going to be the Pistons, but if it is the Cavs by chance, the Knicks should do easy work with the Cavs. It's a similar concept, but at the end of the day, they do have Donovan Mitchell. It's not just, hey, we have one ball handler that can score the ball. No, we have 2 in Harden and Mitchell. And Harden being a great playmaker, I'm just not sure how that would work. But hey, only time will tell. Because so far this playoffs, they haven't really faced against a great ball handler and playmaker. CJ McCollum is a bucket getter. There isn't really a true playmaker on that Atlanta team. Same thing with the Sixers. They don't really have that true playmaker. But if you go against the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham isn't this elite playmaker, but he could still be a good one. He's definitely above average amongst any other scoring guard in the league. But the Pistons don't have the pieces around him to make the Knicks pay. But the Cavs, on the other hand, they do have James Harden, which is the scary part. We'll see how much Mike Brown tries to scheme around this Cavs series if it does come down to that. But the Knicks being the first one to advance give them such an edge amongst any other team that gives them a lot more time to prep and prepare and kind of watch more film on the Pistons and the Cavs. But either way, this should be a clear run to the finals for the New York Knicks. But the one person I really want to zero in on real quick that I've been really impressed about, karl-Anthony Towns only scored 20 or more points 4 times. That is crazy. His playoff career high this year is 25. This is karl-Anthony Towns, one of the best offensive big men we have seen, not just in the league today, just in the league overall of all time. His offensive capabilities are through the roof. But the way that Mike Brown is utilizing him, facilitator and playmaker role, in which we haven't really seen out of Canada's whole career. He's his point center. Mike Brown realized, yo, this team doesn't really have passion and playmaker. No one facilitating the offense. When Jalen Brunson gets the ball, Jalen Brunson's looking to put the ball in hoop. That's as simple as that. Mikal and OG are kind of just contributing factor. Same thing with them. When they're getting the ball, either A, looking to get it to Cat or Brunson, or B, just, hey, I'm going to shoot open shot, catch and shoot. Now they're creating for themselves. Same thing with Josh Hart. Catch and shoot threes. Oh, Brunson, here, take the ball. Here, Cat, take the ball. But Cat is operating out of the elbow, find these cuts, and because he's such an offensive juggernaut, teams have to respect him so much that they can't just leave him open. So that leads to Cat getting games where he has 10 assists, 7 assists, 7 assists, 10 assists, 10 assists. He has, out of the 10 games, he has 3 games where he has 10 assists. His 10 assist games almost match how many games he has 20 or more points. It goes to show you that the evolution of Karl-Anthony Towns right before our eyes. It is actually unbelievable out of Mike Brown, especially to kind of use him as this playmaking hub. Because this year in the playoffs, he's averaging 17.4 points per game, 10 rebounds, 48.3% from 3, really efficient from 3, and 6.6 assists per game. Beautiful out of him. He even averaged 7.5 assists in the Sixers series alone. He also 58.7% from the field. Karl-Anthony Towns overall this playoffs, his impact has been way above than just looking at the box score. Because then again, nothing in the box score is going to jump at you because he isn't taking that many shots. He's just really efficient in the shot he takes, and he really picks and chooses when he wants to be a primary scorer. As you saw in the Knicks series in Game 3, when he scored 11 points in that third quarter with 3 assists. It goes to show you that Cat can turn on that scoring switch when he feels like it, but it's just not what the team needs right now. They need someone to be that offensive hub, and that's exactly what Cat's doing. So I want to give a big shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns, man. He's been really impressing me. But now, one low-key factor in this Knicks run is OG Anunoby. He is their second best scorer in the playoffs so far. He's averaging 21 points per game in the 8 games he played. Even though they didn't really have him, like I said, he only played 8 out of 10 games. Missed the last 2 games due to a right hamstring injury, which I really hope, because how quickly they handle business with the Sixers, it will give him more time to rest, because you need OG healthy for a Pistons or Cavs series. As their best perimeter defender, as their second best offensive scorer, not offensive player, their second best scorer. So far in the playoffs, he's been playing like an all-star level player, and they needed something like that, especially with Cat taking the backseat offensively. And OG is shooting like 50% from 3. His shooting splits have been amazing, and that's exactly what the New York Knicks need. And now, the man who saved New York basketball, the man who put New York back on the contending map, the man, the king of New York, current day, in Jalen Brunson. His shot creating abilities are always going to be Jalen Brunson-esque. He's been hooping out of his mind, multiple 30-point games. He's been showing why he is this offensive scorer, and teams can't really stay in front of him. He's seen body after body, double team, blitzing. They have done anything they can at Brunson, but he's made tough shot after tough shot after tough shot. And outside of those first 3 games against the Hawks, where I really did see him struggle against Nikhil and Dyson Daniels a lot, honestly, because the length of Nikhil looked like it was disrupting him for those first couple of games, but he started to figure it out. The Sixers don't really have anyone that can stay in front of Brunson at all. Oubre couldn't do it. Paul George is too old. And there's really no one else on the team perimeter defending wise that can stay in front of Brunson. And now next round, if he does see the Pistons, he'll see Ausar Thompson again. And we saw how that played out last year. There isn't going to be enough. There isn't enough bodies on that Pistons team to even throw at Brunson. It's kind of just Ausar. And if you really look at it, the Cavs don't really have any great perimeter defending either, except for like a Keon Ellis or Dennis Schroeder. But Keon Ellis doesn't really play anymore. And Schroeder feels like he's just too small and just too weak. He can't stay in front of Brunson. That's why those small guards don't work, because he's too strong. He's a bulldog. The guy, he's a really strong 6'1", you know? Try putting bigger people on him, they're just too slow. So it's really hard to keep a good perimeter defender in front of Brunson. So I really have the Knicks just walking through the next round. I'm not saying like a sweep. Hey, anything could happen with the Knicks team, especially how they've been playing. But they're definitely the favorites going on forward. And last thing, I want to shout out Mike Brown. Because a lot of Knicks fans have been giving him slack. I've heard a lot of Knicks fans saying, yo, fire Mike Brown. He isn't what we thought he was going to be. But I think right now in the playoffs, he's exceeded a lot of expectations. His ability to adapt, his ability to get out of his comfort zone and make players get out of their comfort zone and make everyone buy into the system defensively, offensively. He's really impressed me with his ability to, like I said, adapt. That's something Thibodeau wasn't doing. Thibodeau was so stuck in his ways that he wasn't able to use the pieces he has in such unique ways. How Mike Brown is. So I like to shout out Mike Brown. I am rooting for the Knicks to make NBA Finals, even though I believe any team that makes out the Western Conference will put belt to them. But hey, you made the finals for the first time in 27 years if you do it. That would be such a great accomplishment to put. And I don't want to have to come back and make another video after the conference finals and y'all lose to the Pistons or the Cavs. That'd be really embarrassing after I literally stuck my neck out for the Knicks going into the conference finals. We'll see what happens. Let's see if the Knicks can finally get over that hump. I am rooting for them. And as always, go hard on them dudes. Salute.